Hello, everyone. Jai Sadgudev to all of you. Thank you very much for joining this daily, in fact, weekly session, or you can say monthly session, what we have. Today, we have brought to all of you a very interesting session, and that is related with our habits. Habits, we will define later on how exactly this works, what is the meaning, and if we want to change it to a certain extent, should we do it or not? If at all, then how should we do? We will discuss about this today. Once again, thank you very much for joining with us. We are live on Facebook as well as on Zoom. If you are watching us, if you are listening us, thank you very much for your time joining with us. Let me tell you something about myself. During this COVID time, since last almost 1.5 years almost, when this started, we were told here in Singapore that we have to mask on a regular basis, on a daily basis. If we are going out, we cannot go without mask. I have a little bit of problem in breathing, in the sense that if I drink less water, then I sneeze to a certain extent. And at that time point, having a mask and going out is really very uncomfortable for me. And then I was thinking, okay, if I have to go outside with a mask, what should I do? Will I sustain with my mask throughout the time? When I try to do it, maybe for 5 minutes, that's it. After 5 minutes, it becomes very uncomfortable to me. But then I decided, come on, Subhash, this is a challenge for you. This is a challenge on the basis of the situation right now. I cannot run away from myself. I cannot run away from the situation itself. Even if internally it is not accepting me or the situation itself, I have to be strong enough to adopt and to convert myself, to change my habit, change my thinking, change my mind, to accept this mask to be put on my mouth throughout the time. And just with this thinking, I prepared myself mentally first, and then thereafter I realized that after very few number of days, in fact, less than 2 or 3 days, I was very much adopt. I had adopted this particular mask very much, as right now I am using very comfortably. Just give me a few seconds. I'll return back. I think my laptop is going out of charge. Sorry for this interruption. Just give me a few seconds. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the interruption. So we are talking about, are we ready to change our habits? How do we do it so that we can change our habit? Is there any mechanism? If the mechanism is available, can we sustain on that mechanism or not? We are going to talk about during this whole session for roughly 1 hour, and then maybe 15 to 20 minutes for the question and answer session. Thank you very much for joining with us. My name is Subhash Chandra. I have joined from Singapore, and we have many team members available with us who have been working on this particular project, on this particular session. So thank you very much, every one of you, for being available and connected with us to provide the support. So now let us begin. What do you think? What do you think is a habit? In a normal, simple dictionary, if you pick it up, habit, the definition of habit will simply give you, okay, this is a settled regular tendency or a practice probably, where it is really hard to give you up. Something which you cannot give up in that so easily way. But along with this, there are certain more things along with the habit. Let me pick up one by one word here. Say, or let me take one example. Suppose someone is smoking and the person wants to quit the smoking. It is very, very important to understand not just having the willingness about quitting the smoking. There are a lot many other things involved into it. I have seen many people who want to quit smoking, but they are not able to. They know that it doesn't work. The smoking is not good for them, and they have tried a lot to quit smoking, but their habit, they have found themselves in such a comfort zone along with their behavior, or the body has adopted everything what they had been doing related with the smoking, that it is really very, very hard to do it on that basis. And what happens, it is really important to understand how much effort we are giving along with how much time we are putting to overcome the habit what we have. Is that is important. So in a simple word, if you see, a habit is a settled regular tendency or a practice. One another example where I want to give here you is, many people when they speak, they have a habit to say a few words like, you know, in each and every sentence, they will start saying, you know, or you can say another word they use, okay. Another word you can see, did you understand? Something like this. So these are habits, very simple example. When you speak, when you talk, we are using some jargons, which is not required, but that has become our habit. During this COVID time, we have been freely moving anywhere here and there. Now the restriction is there. Are we able to adopt that restriction? Is our body, our mind ready to accept that change in our habit? No, you cannot go outside and meet 10 people or 15 or 20 people at a time. Are we ready to accept? So that's the tendency what we have. If we have a regular tendency to meet someone, if you meet someone and you always go and shake hand, the first thing what you do is shake hand in the office or when you are going to a meeting. And now, under the restriction situation, when you are meeting somebody, I'm sure for most of us, it would have happened. Our hand automatically goes towards that person to shake hand. Maybe after a few seconds, we realize, no. We pull our hand back, saying, no, we don't have to shake hand. Maybe just this, like we do like this or something. Okay, hi, punch something like this, and that's it. No handshake. So automatically, our hand is moving towards that person to shake hand. That is a habit. The mind has adopted, the body has adopted the tendency, the settlement, the practice what we have. And sometimes it is really hard to give up all these types of activity. And that's why we say that we are in a comfort zone when we are in a catch of a habit. But the point comes, we are talking about having a habit, there is no problem as such. There is no problem. What's the problem if I have a habit of something? The point here is, if I want to change my habit because of one or another reason, am I ready to change that habit or not? We are not saying that habit must be changed. No, definitely not. Point is, when we want to change one of our habits, suppose, are we ready to accept that change in our habit? Before moving forward, let me run through a poll here, just a very simple poll, which probably we would like to understand from you as a participant, how and what you think about habit in your day-to-day life. Probably I'd like to see what the answers come through. So give me a few seconds. I'm just rolling out the poll. Okay. So now I believe in front of you. Those who are connected on Zoom, definitely it doesn't go on Facebook. Those who are connected on Zoom, you might be able to see there are a few questions related with changing in habits. Please fill this form. The first question is, are you aware about your habits? Do you know what different types of habits you have? The answers are yes, no, or maybe you don't know, something like this. So please fill this one. Second question is, can you differentiate your good and bad habits? So one thing is, I know that what habit I have, but am I able to differentiate what is a good habit of mine and what is a bad habit of mine? How do we differentiate? How do we say what is the good, what is the bad? Good means you are benefited out of it. That's the meaning of good habit. And bad habit means there is something which is harming you, but still that's a habit for you, and you are aware that it is my bad habit. And third question is, do you have a habit which comes from your unconscious mind? That means you do something which you are probably not aware of it. Maybe sometimes oh, did I do like this? Do I do like this? Maybe if somebody will take your video for a few things, then you will realize, oh, that's how I do. Like when somebody is speaking and then the person is saying, oh, the person is not aware actually what he's saying about. His conscious mind gives him the signal this word of this sentence has to be said. That's an unawareness completely, but still that is your habit. So that's the third question. Fourth question is, have you tried to change your habit? Whichever habit you think you need to change, have you tried? I'm not asking, we are not saying here whether you got the success or not here, whether you tried to change your some of the habits or not. If you're saying yes, that means there is at least one habit of you which you think is not good as per that time or as per the requirement, and you want to change it. That's why you would say yes. If you say no, that means there are multiple options available in that. That means either you don't know about your habit, or you know but you don't want to change it, and that's why you have not tried, and so on and so forth. The fifth question is, once you tried it out, did you get the success or not? That is very, very crucial question. When you tried and you did not get it the way you wanted it, the way you put your effort, what is the reason? That need to be identified. That's why this question has been put. And the sixth and last question is, are you willing to have a better control on your habits? So these are the 6 questions which are running on the poll. So far, I can see only 3 people have replied. I expect some more. Please reply to this survey. These are the 6 questions related with the habits. Most of the things I see quite positive response from the attendees. And the most interesting one, the last one, we have received one response so far that I'm indifferent. I actually don't want to change my habit, or I don't want to put my hand onto this, which is fine, absolutely no problem. But majority of the people are saying, yes, I'm willing to change my habit. So those who are saying, yes, I'm willing to change my habit, that means you actually know to a certain extent what your habits are, and you have put some effort to make some changes into it. So a couple of more seconds I will wait for. Please fill this survey where we are asking for 6 questions related with change in habits, just to make you aware about your own habits. Just 15-second more I will wait for. Okay, so I'm ending the poll and I will launch the result of the poll, which all of you can see in terms of percentage. I'm ending the poll, and now you can see the result on the screen, at least for those who are on the Zoom. So majority of the people have said, in fact, all the people have said, yes, I'm aware about my habit, which is a very good news to all of you. And are you able to differentiate your good and bad habits? Here also the answer is yes, I am aware about it. Do you know whether you have some habits based on your unconscious mind, which probably you are not aware right now. We have mixed answers. Some people have said yes, some people say no, some people say don't know, some people say maybe I'm not aware at all. I've not thought of this. The fourth question was, have you tried changing your habit? And all the people have said yes. This is again a very good thing from you, that you have at least tried to put your effort. And the fifth question was, could you succeed in the change of your habit? Some people say very easily. I think very one or two people have said very easily, which is good. Congratulations to you. And some people have said that moderatively. That means I had to put some effort to change my habit. But none of you have said that no, I could not do it. So again, congratulations to all of you, those who were able to succeed in this one. And the last question was, are you willing to have a better control on your habit? Most of the people, around 85-90% of the people who have surveyed this, who have provided the answer, have said yes, I'm willing to have a better control on my habit. So thank you very much for participating in this small quick poll. And now we move forward on this basis, and probably now you will be able to understand and you will be able to connect with us in a much more better way, because you have just recently, for last 5 to 7 minutes, you have just went inside you to check yourself related with your habit, what you have, what you don't. So let me quickly come to some scientific and other way around this word habit. This habit means most of the people have used it in a very different way, but there are very fine words and there are very fine differences in all these uses of the words, which here I'm trying to pick up, which simply, if I say one simple example is, okay, what is the meaning of habit? Just the word habit, which may imply doing something unconsciously or probably more compulsorily basis, that becomes the habit. Second one, which is word which is very commonly used for this habit, is a practice. Okay, I'm practicing something. That means you are using some method, some methodology to become more and more regular, and that's why we say a practice. Some people use some word like uses, some people say use some word owned, some people use some other words, and there are so many different varieties of this word habit which people have been using it in their day-to-day life. But overall, if I summarize all these words from here and there, what we see is habit is more about your comfort zone, is more about the body, the sense organs have adopted something based on the outside thing, what is happening, to connect you from inside. And that's how that has become a part of your activity, that has become a part of regular activity. And sometimes we are not aware, what is my habit? Am I really doing like this? That's how. But there are some bad habits also, which probably we may want to change ourselves. Let me go a little bit more on a scientific basis for defining this habits. How does it work? And then we will move quickly towards the solution for it and how we can make ourselves more available, how we can make more ourselves more ready to change any habit if we want to have. So if we see certain specific things for a habit, if you go deep down into the habit, we would see there are three things associated with the habits. And those three things are, one is the trigger point, second thing is the routine, and third thing is the reward which we are getting. Unless and until something triggers, the habit will not start. Say, for simple example, emotion or belief, or probably the location, or sometimes it is a time, sometimes the situation around you. That's how it starts. The habit starts with some trigger that you need to identify for yourself based on whichever habit you are talking about. Like some of you mentioned that you know what is your habit, what is your good habit, what is your bad habit. Do you know the trigger point of all those habits, especially about the bad habits? Do you know what is the trigger point for your bad habit? Say, for one example can be one of the bad habit one person can consider that, say, let me take my own example. When I was much more younger, then I had noticed, I had observed one thing very peculiar to myself, which was very much surprising to me. But later on, I realized that probably this habit is applicable to almost everyone. Everyone means probably everyone. What was that habit? That habit was whenever I'm walking somewhere outside, my eyes never stop. What does that mean? That means I'm always watching someone, whoever is crossing me, this side, that side, back side, there. I'm non-stop, completely. My eyes are completely looking on someone, not something, someone. Okay, who is this person? Who is this person? Who is that? Who is that? So my eyes were continuously on the people around me when I'm walking somewhere. Then I realized that is it really fine for me to be completely engaged when I am walking? Is it really fine to me that my eyes, my brain, my mind is completely engaged on different people, whereas I don't know what I'm finding in them or on them or whatever it is, why I'm looking at it? Is it simply a decay of my energy one way or another? Then I started thinking, okay, change this. Can I change my mind? Can I change my eyes? Okay, then what I did, I started looking down on the floor to change myself. Okay, let me always, whenever I'm walking, I will not see up, I always see down. That was very difficult. I'm sure some of you might have experienced such kind of habits, what you had. So there has to have a trigger. If I'm looking at some people, now I realize why I was looking at all those people around me. I was finding something. I was finding someone to talk to me because I was not able to talk to many people, and that's why I was trying to find out the waves to catch, to identify, okay, whom I can approach, what I can talk, and so on and so forth. So that is the trigger that comes under the emotion. Similarly, for each and every habits we have, there has to have trigger point. The second thing for our habit is the routine. Routine means once it has triggered, how frequently we are doing. Those who are smoking, say a kid here in Singapore, I have observed maybe even 10-year-old. I have seen 10-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid, they're smoking. What is the trigger point? Try to think about it. What is the trigger point? The trigger point is the environment around them, the friends circle. Some of them are smoking and they will simply make it trigger to that kid also. Why don't you also? So that's a trigger point. And then that becomes a regular routine, frequent routine. And that comes under the routine section. And slowly the body, the mind will start adopting that situation, and that becomes your desire after some time. And then you become more comfortable with that situation. And the most important portion is the reward. From each and every reward we have, for each and every habits we have, believe me or not, we are getting some reward. That's why we don't change it. And that's why we are not ready to make any change into it, if at all. What are those rewards? A very simple, the first reward is satisfaction. Second reward is the rest. Probably you are getting. Third reward, maybe you are getting happy. You become more and more happy. You are getting happiness. And some other benefits also you may get. Say for those kids who are smoking, for them, the reward is the impression to their friend circle. That is a reward. If you don't smoke, your impression is gone. If you continue smoking, you are impressing the people around you, at least those type of people. And because of that, it becomes a reward for you. And for that reward, even if you don't want, you'd like to do that. So overall, if you see how this habit works, these are the three main characteristics, three main knots of the habit based on which every habit work and we behave on that basis. Trigger point, routine, and the reward section. Say a simple example, if I say meditation. We have been doing on a daily basis meditation in the evening, in the morning, half an hour, and we invite everyone to join. Some people come 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, and thereafter they don't come. There may be various reasons behind this, but one reason can be, out of those various reasons, one reason can be they have not adopted the habit to do the meditation. What could be the reason? There may be many reasons not to join the meditation or even not to practice meditation on their own, even if not joining with us on that group, but even if they have to practice it on their own whenever they feel like. If they are not doing it, that has not become their habit. So not doing it is a habit. Why they are not doing? One of the reasons could be the trigger point. There is nothing around them which triggers to sit for meditation. And if it is not triggering, the routine will not happen. If the routine will not happen, the reward will not come. So one way or another to make a habit or to change somewhere, somehow the habit, we need to look around one of these three: the trigger points, the routine, and the reward. If we can do one of them, if we focus on one of them, probably we can adopt any change, we can change our habit, we can improve in our habit at any one time or another. Few more things here. When we talk about trigger point, routine, reward, what does happen with us? I have highlighted few specific things here: how biologically it happens, how psychologically it happens, and how scientifically things are happening. Wherever, whatever we say, everything, everywhere, if you see the highlighted words, it is the mind, and the mind which is controlling and creating all these things. Because ultimately we are being controlled through our mind. The memory, how we think, what we feel, how we act, all these things are linked with our mind and mind only. And because of that, I'm going to fold my discussion more towards mind, and how mind is actually making us more habituative for one thing or another, and how controlling the mind will help us to control our habit. But before that, I want to make every one of you to emphasize on few things. Habit is not that easy to change. In fact, we never recommend, or it's better not to recommend to change your habit. I'm using another word, and that word is replace your habit. Like in the survey, in the poll, some of you said that, yes, I have tried to change my habit. My suggestion is, please don't try to change your habit. Don't, please. There is no need to change your habit. If at all you want anything differently, please replace that habit with another habit. Because if the mind is occupied with one way or another, with one particular type of habit, and if you try to forcefully stop it, the mind will not accept it, the body will not accept it. But if you replace that habit with another habit, it is more likely that it will happen much more easier, and will become much more adaptive to your mind as well as to the body. But all these things depends on lot many different kind of things, which I think, if I highlight some of the things, if we really want to change, what is the need, the most important thing we need to do, we need to know if we want to make any change or replacement in our habit. The most important thing is these three things: the trigger, the response or the routine, and the reward. To make this all happen, we need to be aware. We have to aware about ourselves. We need to be aware about our activity. We need to be aware about self. Then only we can progress further and work on our habit. Awareness is the most important thing. If we are not aware that we have any one kind of habit or not, it is very difficult to do anything thereafter. And the second thing is the willingness. If you don't have a willingness to change, if you don't have a willingness to shift from one to another, it will take some time. Believe me, some time. So what are the different methods? What are the different methods for change or to improve on your habits? If you go and do Google, you will find lots of different types of methodology, and all those methods have been provided, which obviously the person has to go individually to understand what exactly it is for. So one simple method is, okay, don't change it. Don't change something. Instead of change, replace it. Say, for example, if somebody have a habit to say in each and every sentence, you know, this is the word. I don't know if I'm sure some of you might have heard such kind of people somewhere. What that person has to do? First, he need to be aware about, yes, he says something like this. And second thing is, he just need to replace that word with something else. And the best way to replace this is with pause. That's how the public speaking system says that if you want to change one of your habit, when you say something which is not required, simply give a pause. Once become aware and then pause it. So pause is a habit of pause is a habit to replace to say, when you speak. What is the second one? People say there is a thumb of rule of 21 days to practice something, or 90 days thumb of rule also. Means if you want to adopt something, anything new or replacement or something to change completely, you have to continuously practice that for 3 weeks. And once you sustain in that 3 weeks, that's why if some of you might remember when we introduced Vihangam meditation to some people to practice it when they are introduced for the first time, the first thing what we say is, don't do anything else related with this, but definitely practice for 3 weeks without any gap, without any break. Then you will see the meaning of the practice inside you, how it is impacting. This is true for any type of change, any type of habit. Scientifically, at least, that's how it has been identified. And once you sustain for 21 days, then you will start liking about it. Do you know why? Because you will start getting the reward from it. And once we get the reward from it, once we understand the benefit out of it, then we will have the desire to adopt more and more of that change, and then it becomes our routine for a longer time. And then the second dose, the first vaccination is 21-day practice. Second vaccination is to continue the same thing from there onward for 3 months, 90 days. Once you are able to sustain for 90 days of that habit, it will really become your real habit for a longer time period. Doesn't mean to say that for lifelong. No, for a longer time period, that will become your habit unless and until you give a very long break to it or you replace it with something else thereafter. So this is the second method which most of the people try to do when something they are adopting at one time or another. Third one is, first of all, think positive. If we are not able to adopt something, the one of the reason behind this is we are in opposition of it. We are stubborn. We don't want it. So the point here is think positive. Think about the benefit. Think that you will get something out of it. That's why you have to think positive. Third one, find few things associated with that habit which makes you happy. If you become more happy, you will be able to adopt that particular habit very soon. And this comes actually in the reward point. So being happy is one of the reward point which probably we need to think about when we go for the habit. The next one is quite interesting, and that is one habit at a time. Please don't go on multiple habits to change and adopt. Go for one habit at one time, not multiple one, because it will be really difficult to sustain. And then reward yourself when you achieve something. Psychologically, it impacts very much to the practitioner, the person who is adopting one habit or another. But ultimately, when I see even all these methodology which has been mentioned here, all of these doesn't hit you to your root level. It will be there for few days, it will be there for few months probably, but it's not going to be your genetic habit because it doesn't hit you at the root level of yourself. Here I want to bring one very interesting point. What is the meaning of the root? What I want to mention here is in terms of a warning, and not just for us, but probably for our next generation, when a bad habit or even a good habit or whatever we think is sustaining inside you for a quite longer time, especially I'm talking about the bad habits, it will be transferred to your next generation as a genetic characteristic. I've observed kids a lot, and I've observed myself also at all different time points to think and understand what I have this habit. I should not do this, but still, why I'm doing this? Why this habit is associated with me? Then I started finding few things here and there, and then this sentence is coming that some of the habits which sustain inside us can become a genetic characteristic to the next generation. And the biggest warning here, what I want to make is, are you aware about this? Are you aware? Are we aware that some of our habits, which probably we don't like it, which we don't like, but still we are keeping with ourselves, but probably we don't know one way or another, it is being transferred to our next generation, which becomes a permanent habit, a permanent characteristic to our next generation. Please be careful here all the times to understand what is happening with you, especially with your habit. So let me come back to the previous one of the previous slide where I want to again highlight the mind, memory, think, feel, and act. These are the only things which are the root cause of all of our habits. Whether we know this, whether we are aware about it or not, it doesn't matter. What I want to do here is, before we move forward, I want to invite one of our practitioners to just share few of his experiences in such a way that we can have a very good environment right now to understand how we believe, what we think based on our own experience. Meditation, especially Vihangam meditation, can really help all of us to rectify ourselves, to correct ourselves, to, to, to support our willingness when we want something to change in our daily life. I'm going to invite Mr. Chandan Singh ji, who has joined us from Singapore itself, to ask him. Recently, he has experienced a very interesting change in habit within himself, which he wants to share with us just in quick few minutes, and then we will move forward from there onward to go more towards how actually meditation can help us to correct our habit, to correct our basis in much more easier way and much more controllable way. Chandan Singh ji, please.
Thank you so much, Subhash. Jai Sadgurudev to everyone. I'm fortunate to have this opportunity to share my views, my experiences in this forum. On behalf of organizing committee, I would like to say thanks to all our regular attendees who are joining us in our daily and weekly sessions. My pranam namaskar to all the distinguished guests who have joined us for the first time, and those who are joining us regularly. We thank you from the bottom of our heart. Thanks for all the support. May Sadguru bless us all, and this spiritual journey of ours must keep going on. Coming back to today's topic, I would like to say that we all have difficulties and challenges in our day-to-day life, and we try our best to get the solution and overcome from it. But there are few things, few challenges, few issues which we cannot resolve in a day or two. It may take months and years. And in such scenarios, what should be our best approach? And the answer is that we must change the habit. We must change our lifestyle. We must adapt to the situation and try to live with it. I will share two main challenges of my life from last 1 or 2 years. And I'll also share that how changing my habits and how Vihangam meditation have helped me to move forward. In year 2019, it was month of June when my wife went back to India to deliver a baby. We got blessed with a baby girl in month of October in 2019 itself, and it fulfilled our lives with all the happiness. I started planning to bring them to Singapore in January 2020. Even I also visited India, and I managed to get the passport ready for my baby. I booked the tickets to bring them to Singapore in the month of May 2020. Considering that I'll be getting the dependent pass and all the other approvals that are required to bring them over to Singapore. But the destiny had something else in the plan. Suddenly, COVID came and all the travels got cancelled. All the flights were cancelled. Even my ticket was also cancelled. My family was not able to come to Singapore. From the time government started all allowing all the travelers to enter Singapore with entry approvals, I also started applying for my family to bring them back. But every month I used to get rejections. I tried multiple times. I approached here and there. I tried all the possible ways to bring them, but till now it is not yet approved, and I'm still trying. The main challenge here is that my mind started deviating me emotionally. When I say emotionally, living away from family is not a small thing. It's a very big thing. And even for 1 year, 2 years, and also during the phase where I am, my baby is small, I have to see how she is growing. And all these moments I am missing. So every Friday when I used to see that, okay, my office time is going to be over, I start thinking that what should I do? What I'll do if I go back home, although I'm alone, what I'm going to do. I used to think that, oh, my friends will go with their family. There is a weekend. There will be lots of plans and everything. And emotionally, I used to feel alone. I used to feel very setback for me. But again, we have video calling tools. I can talk to family and see my baby, see my wife, see my mother. Everyone I can be in touch with them. But it was a very toughest time of my life. The second main challenge of my life was last year when COVID period was happening. I had to go to office every day, as I have been responsible for few specific tasks and activities. That's why I had to go to office every day. When everybody was working from home, I was sitting in office, and during that period, there was a time when all the food outlets were closed. Only buses, MRTs were running, and when I used to go in buses, when I used to go in MRT, I used to see very less number of people traveling in buses, MRTs, and there was chances of getting infected. And this fear was always revolving around me, and it kept coming to my mind. So if you see, from personal to professional front, it was very difficult time for me. Now, the challenge was that how I should cope up with this situation. Although I am associated with Vihangam Yoga from childhood, and there was a belief in my mind that Sadhguru will give his blessings and will protect me. With this thought in my mind, I did some changes in my habits. I should not say changes, I replaced, if I use the word used by Subhash, I replaced few of the habits of mine. What I did actually, as I was saying, there were no food outlets, nothing was open for me to eat because I had to work in office, I had to eat to survive. So what I started waking up 30, 40 minutes early to prepare some food for me. And I used to carry tiffin in my office. I started keeping fruits in my bag, and mask and sanitizer was anyway compulsory thing. But being conscious towards it was more important. And I managed to adapt to this new way of life or working very quickly. In parallel, during same period of time, Subhashji came back with the idea that we should start early morning meditation practice as well. And that was a game changing part of my life actually. We started various online activities like morning meditation practice, weekly sessions, Swarved Akhand Path, and involvement in these activities deviated my mind from being emotional to being more focused. It was very nice or very good opportunity for all of us to deep dive in the meditation and feel the difference in our life. And most of us utilize this opportunity as well. Being regular in meditation practice, doing Swarved part, participating in satsang of Singapore as well as other countries helped me to become more determined. So just changing the lifestyle, being involved in various activities, and being involved in the service to the master, that helped me a lot. If I summarize what main changes I did during this 1.5 years of time, I started waking up early in the morning. I started doing regular meditation practice. I started reading Swarved, at least few couplets of Swarved every day. I started doing Sankat Mochan Path. All these things, reading Swarved, doing Sankat Mochan Path, used to give me a lot of strength and positivity. And when I used to go to office during that period of time, I used to feel safe. I used to feel more energetic, more positive. And with this feeling, I tried to overcome with this period of time. I did some changes in my food habits as well, focusing more on fruits, vegetables. I started focusing on my physical health as well by including some various activities like walking back from office to home, and also do some exercises to reduce my weight. So all this determination, all this mental strength started coming because I was doing regular meditation practice in the morning as well as in the evening. Listening, singing bhajans in my free time was also a source of positive energy for me. Talking about Vihangam yoga and Swarved to others, it used to give me a great positive energy. And I try to meet and discuss with others if found they are interested. This is all about, in summary for me. And I must say that by including Vihangam meditation practice in our daily life will bring wonders to our life. I decided that I'll not miss meditation session at any cost. Even if I'm busy with some work, I'll try to do the meditation before going to bed. In order to do this, I decided that I'll track it monthly. I started setting targets for myself, monthly targets, and I'm happy to share that I am able to achieve it at least by 99%. I'm able to sit for meditation daily on regular basis, and the idea was to make it as a habit. Similarly, I started reading Swarved on weekends, and slowly I am able to read one mandal in one day by sitting all those from start to end, all the couplets of one mandal. At least there are 10 chapters, 12 chapters, 14 chapters, and I can say that today I am able to read all the couplets by sitting in one go, because reading couplets of Swarved bring a lot of happiness from inside, and it creates positive energy around us. This is how changing my habits has helped me. I had other options as well in my hand to go out with friends, enjoy doing various other activities, but I decided that I'll use this time, I'll use this opportunity to know more about me, read and understand Swarved couplets, do more and more meditation, follow the path of spirituality, because this is the need of hour. During this time of crisis, being more conscious is the key to sustain, and changing our habits is one of the key to achieve this. Thanks a lot for hearing me. Back to you, Subhaji. Jai Sadgurudev.
Thank you very much, Chandanji. I think to all those listeners, if you see carefully here, the important thing which I was mentioning earlier is the trigger point, the routine, and the reward. The trigger point for Chandanji was that his situation around him, the emotion, the belief, which made him think differently. And then something pop out to him. Okay, meditation. Can I do it? Okay, he started doing it out. But now the challenge for him was how to make it regular. Then he took a responsibility on his own, and okay, I will be associated for the morning daily practice session, which we started at 6 a.m. And by that time point, I believe he was not able to get up in the morning before 6. And but once he get determined, once there was a willingness to him, once he understood there is a reward out of it, then his conscious mind, which was unconsciously work in one way or another, made him ready to get up in the morning, leave things aside, and start working on this. And as we all heard from him, that now there has been hardly any session in the morning which he has missed. That means He is getting up in the morning almost around, definitely before 5:30 to join the session at 6 a.m. Thank you very much, Chandanji, for joining with us and sharing your viewpoints. So coming back to the point which I was mentioning is ultimately dealing with the habits, any kind of habit which we are talking about, it's actually dealing with our self core, the core what we are. That means we are more talking about the basis based on which we exist when we talk about these habits. So the point comes here, as we have been mentioning, that meditation helps all of us to deal with our habits. Why? To correct them permanently. So the meditation helps us to deal with our habits, to correct them permanently. Again, the biggest question is how? How should one believe, and how should one think that, okay, meditation is the permanent solution for any kind of habit which we want to make it happen? One example we just heard from Mr. Chandan. Okay, fine, there has been a change, but is it true that it will happen with everyone? And can it happen with everyone? Yes, it can happen, but we need to be more aware. Let us little bit give some time here to understand how meditation actually helps us, not just for our habits. Believe me, we'll talk later on very soon, not just for habit, but there are many more things associated with us for which meditation can help us. But to that, we need to understand, we need to be aware about the mind itself. The habit is, as we can see on the slide, habit is nothing but it's a comfort zone of a mind, which doesn't allow you to accept going away from that comfort zone. Those who are having a strong willpower, they can do it fine, but that you need to check yourself how strong you are, how strong willpower you have. But if the point here is, if it is associated with the mind, is there any way through which we can control this mind itself, and then automatically that habit will be under our control? Yes, it can be done. Why? Because the mind is an operating system in this body which functions along with our sense organs, our memory, our intellect, our ego, and actually it controls our sense organ. If you see all the habits about which we are talking about, doesn't matter what type it is, one way or another, our one of the sense organs is involved into it. That means that mind is controlling these sense organs based on which the habit is being performed. So if one way or another we are able to control the mind, then will that not happen in a way that our sense organ will also be controlled? And that's how the habits, not just one habit, we are talking about all of the habits, all the habits will be under the control, and then you can decide from your intellect what you want to do, what you want to keep, what you want not to do, and so on and so forth. And that will generate a lot of willpower inside you, which comes from the power of the soul, which is in inert form right now, not functioning that way, the way it has to function. And that's why working on the mind is really very important, whether we talk about our habits, whether we talk about any other problem we have, because mind is the root cause of all of our problems. Everything is linked to the mind. Best solution is to be aware out of it, make it controlled, purify it, and become as conscious as possible. All these things can be done by anyone under proper guidance, with the practice and with the proper experience on it. So overall, if we say what is mind ultimately, and what will happen when we have a controlled mind? So controlled mind will give you a lot of things. The very interesting thing, which probably you will find it funny, but still it is very interesting thing, that if you will have a controlled mind, it will open a gate for you to peep inside the mind to identify what it does, how it does, where are different sockets available, what are different planes available in this mind, and then you can play around with it whenever, whatever is required for you. But it is possible only when we have controlled mind. Before that, not possible. And it will make you more and more aware, because now you can peep inside it to identify what it does, what it does not. It improves the willpower. it increases your willpower to take the right decision. And the more important thing is, wherever required, you can give a pause on the mind itself. You can give a pause on the mind to take the right decision at right time. That means overall, it will give you a very nice control on yourself. Right now, everything is being controlled by the mind itself. Once the mind is controlled by you, then rest all the things will be controlled by you, even if you don't know what you are doing right now. So that means if we want to control our habits, if we want to change our habits, if we want to replace our habits from one or another, we must work, function on our mind to control it. Then it becomes everything so easy that it becomes an unbelievable thing for you all the times. So on this basis, here we come. Vihangam meditation enables the practitioner to control the mind, not just mind, its emotions, all the sense organs, and in fact, it corrects the basis of that practitioner as well. So Vihangam meditation is one of the unique meditation practice, which is the ancient most meditation practice based on which one can very much able to control the mind from outside, from inside, to stabilize it, to purify it, and come to his own basis. That's what it does to us. How we have to utilize this meditation, that would be completely on individual to individual. But the meditation itself will give a lots and lots of new opportunities for the person where you believe at one time that it is impossible for me to do, I can't do. But through meditation, when the jargons will be thrown out, the jargons will be taken out from you, then it becomes transparent thing to see and identify what I can do in my life, what I can achieve in my life. It becomes very, very easy. So meditation actually functions on that individual to correct the whole system, which we ourselves has changed it one way or another, about which we don't know how it has happened. That's what the unconscious habits have been creating problem to us. Now the point comes, how to do meditation. Meditation is not something like we just sit down calmly, close our eyes, and think about something. That's not meditation. Meditation has a specific process, and it's not a fun game. It's a serious activity, at least at the beginning time. And after some time, it becomes a fun. Once meditation itself becomes a habit to you, it becomes a fun. But before that, it is a serious development, which I think if we focus on at one time or another for a few days, it will bring lots and lots of rewards to us. So now, right now, I'm going to elaborate a little bit more about Vihangam meditation, the first stage of Vihangam meditation, and we will practice roughly for 5 minutes only at this stage. More detailed discussion, more detailed activity, more detailed process can be learned, can be identified, can be discussed more during our daily knowledge session as well as daily meditation practice session. Please definitely feel free to join us on a daily basis. We will provide you the details very soon. But right now, let us start meditation. One thing I would like to tell here that for those viewers who are on Facebook watching with us, unfortunately, we will have to stop our recording right now because we cannot just flourish the method of meditation on Facebook. It cannot be recorded on that basis. However, those who have joined with us on Zoom, they will learn, if they have joined us with us for the first time, how to meditate. And for that reason, I would request to stop for roughly around 7 minutes the Facebook live session. We will resume soon on Facebook after 7 minutes. So when we do meditation, what happens is it actually hits the root, the mind, based on which all the habits consciously or unconsciously is being monitored. We need to work on this if we really want to replace or make some changes in our habit, we must meditate. But there is one catch here, and that catch is how to make a habit to sit for meditation. That is also a very interesting point to know. How do we sit for meditation as a habit? Can we do something? So here the choice is, when we have a willingness to make some change or replace a habit by another one, we cannot change or we cannot work on more than one habit at a time. We have to pick up one at a time. What happens is, when we are willing to make some changes in the habit or replace our habit, we have to work a lot. Don't forget the trigger point, the response or the routine, and the reward. For each and every single habit on which we want to work, we have to work on these individually. And believe me, if you start working like this, it really takes a lot and lot of time and effort at your end. When at one point we are struggling to have a change in our habit, do you really think that someone would work on such a longer time to change the habit on the basis of the trigger point, the response, and as the reward? How many people would do this way? Probably a very few. And that's why in this world, you will see there are many people who actually want to make some changes in their habit, but they are not able to do this because it's not that easy. Not that easy. Those who are lucky enough, who were able to do some changes, they have got some guidance one way or another. They have a group of people to motivate you all the time to function on this, or function on this. But at the same time, you have to put your effort on the same. So the point here, what we are saying is, if we have to practice meditation to rectify our habits, to rectify our basis, we have to make a habit to practice for meditation as well. How do we make a habit of doing meditation? To a certain extent, you have to put, instead of n number of habits to be changed, you need to put so much of effort into it. Rather than that, if you understand this clearly, that just one activity, the meditation, especially the Vihangam meditation, would allow you to work on automatically. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to work anything. It happens automatically with you, that the habit will come in front of you to make a change, and it would happen automatically. I want to give you one very simple example. At the beginning time when we were discussing, I told that during my earlier age, when I was young, much more younger, that I had a habit to look around everywhere, whoever is crossing me. My eyes, my mind will simply get attracted, connected to all the people around me at that time point, which was really a troublesome for me. I was not able to focus, concentrate the way I want to. It was just a decay of my energy. I tried a lot, say different processes I did. Okay, I'll not look up, I'll look not this side, that side, I look down and then continue. But the mind was not that active at that time point, and the mind was not under control. It simply pops out and then again it started looking here and there. Through regular meditation practice, you know now what has happened. Not now, in fact, it happened long back. But through meditation, what happened? Even if the mind says, okay, look here, look there, do this, do that, the other side of the mind, which is the subconscious mind, some people say, but actually it comes from the soul itself, it gives me an indication, or that my intellect simply says, no, I'm not interested. Why? I should not. So without even meditation also, one can become aware and one can become intelligent, not to let the mind do such things which you don't want to do. How long? That is the question. The meditation will create the process inside in such a way that things functions very easily for you to act upon. That's what at least my experience is. I'm sure there has been many who have such kind of experience, that the Vihangam meditation simply makes things so easy, especially when we deal with the mind, especially when we deal with the habits. It becomes so easily. Once you are determined for some time, And once you are aware about what you want to do, just be on that for a few days and then practice meditation on a regular basis, and then leave everything as it is. Leave everything as it is. No matter what, you just need to be aware, and you just need to be dedicated for some time to sit for meditation. Things will happen automatically on its own. And that's the uniqueness of Vihangam meditation. There is a mechanism behind this, which we will talk sometime later, how and why it happens this way. But that's how it is. That's how Vihangam meditation works. So my recommendation to all of those who actually want to work on the habit, to change the habit, to replace the habit, to function in a much more better and controlled way, please join us to practice meditation on a regular basis. Even if you can't do it daily, do it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times in a week, and slowly you can increase the frequency and then see automatically how things get changed automatically on a different direction. There are some immediate impact, there are some long-term impact of Vihangam meditation. As far as habits are concerned, it will make you aware. Those who are not aware about the habits, what different types of habits you have. If I ask you to, okay, list down your habits, how many habits you have, can you write it down immediately? No, I'm sure none of us probably will be able to write down all the habits what we have. We need to think, maybe 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, after some day something else will pop out. Oh, this is also my habit. Then you will have to write down. What meditation will make you aware about all of your habits, what you have. And once you are aware, then the meditation empowers, allows you to take right decision if you want to make any change or not. Unless and until you are aware, you cannot make any change. So meditation helps you to identify the awareness as well as take the right decision to make the changes where you want. And then it will keep you confident that if you will have a change in your habit, it's not going to take you in a wrong direction. It will not going to make any bad change in you. It will keep you as confident as possible. These are just immediate impacts. In the long run, in the long way, what happens is it will correct your basis. What is the meaning of correcting the basis? The meaning of correcting basis means you will not get any bad habits because of any other triggers. Even if the trigger comes, you will be aware, because your inner power will start evolving thereafter. It will make you empower with your willpower and other things also, and then it will not let you to get engaged in all those habits which you don't want to get into it. That's a long-term impact of just the first stage of Vihangam meditation. Scientifically also, it has been proven. There has been so many different types of scientific experiments have been done. Just to give you a few examples, this particular slide which you see right now on the screen is a real screenshot medically done on 20 people who were addicted to smoking as well as boozing, and then they wanted to quit. So there was a medical experiment done on them to see whether Vihangam meditation helped them to come out from that bad habit, which they believe that it is a bad habit. Then using 192 EEG nodes, that practical experiment was done to see how meditation is impacting on them. And based on that, it was found that those who were not meditating earlier and now they are meditating, their thought process, their trigger point, their alpha radiations, the alpha wave, the calmness, the restfulness, the alertness means the awareness. These measures have significantly increased during the meditation, and it sustains for some more time even after meditation practice also. And for a longer time, they did practice for 1 month, and it was observed that all those bad habits, whatever they were working on, automatically was wiped out. What is the meaning of wiped out? Now they don't feel like having it. When you don't feel like having it, you will not have it. Simply, if you don't feel like having it, even if the environment is like this, you will not be able to do that. That means that habit will simply be dropped out from you automatically. Scientifically also, it has been proven. There are many more other benefits of meditation. The first stage of Vihangam meditation brings lots of different kind of things to us, not just for habits, but with our other physical activities based on our blood pressure, our calmness, our immunity, our confidence, mental rest, happiness. It, of course, controls the addiction and the habits. It improves our performance, our efficiency. It improves our eyesight. There are so many different kinds of benefits coming from just the first stage of Vihangam meditation. You must try it out. Unless and until you try it out for 3 weeks, 1 month, you will not able to come to know what the rewards you will get out of it. Just seriously do it. Practice it just for 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. You will see the reward point, the benefit from this. There are 5 different stages of Vihangam meditation, not just one. Just right now, what we practiced, what we learned was the first stage of Vihangam meditation, which was designed by His Holiness Sadhguru Sudhafal Devji Maharaj, who established Vihangam Yoga in long back in 1924, almost now going to be 100 years, just for the upliftment of simple all human life being. Everyone is under the catch of our daily life routine. We want to come out from it. We want to change our habits, but we are not able to do it. Not just that, there are many people in this world who want to achieve a lot many different things in terms of spirituality. They want to uplift themselves. They want to change their basis from the mind to the soul, but they are not able to do this. Sadhguru Sudhafal Devji Maharaj came forward based on his own experiences, which he believed, which he said that I have achieved the ultimate objective of the life. That means amalgamation with the Supreme Being. And I know the path. I am going to tell you what exactly it is. That's how he designed the 5 stages of Vihangam meditation, practice of which allow any single practitioner to first become eligible and become more eligible to shift his base from one to another, to have a self-realization, moving from there onward to have a supreme being or the God realization as well. The first stage of Vihangam meditation, which we practice, enables us to control our mind from outside, which helps us to control our addiction, control our habit. Habit and addiction is not that different words. It's almost similar. Although we cannot see somebody's habit if it is not addicted, but believe me, if individually you see any of our habit becomes more and more firm, it becomes an addiction. The first stage of Vihangam meditation helps us to come out from those habits. The second stage of Vihangam meditation purifies us. Just controlling the habit, controlling ourselves from outside is not enough. We have to reach out to the root level to take it out, throw it out completely. And that's how we are saying we have to purify it. And the third stage of Vihangam meditation functions on the Kundalini, the secret door, which actually is the door. If you cross that, your basis will completely shift from the mind to the soul. And then in the fourth stage of Vihangam meditation, you will have the self-realization and you meditate at the soul level. Right now, we are meditating at the level of body as well as the mind only. In the fourth stage of Vihangam meditation, you meditate at the level of soul to become more and more subtle, moving towards the supreme soul. And in the fifth stage of Vihangam meditation, you get the knowledge, the experience, the realization of the ultimate goal of the life, which is the God realization. That's how it goes. But right now, we are focusing only on the first stage of Vihangam meditation, about which we practice, which helps us to rectify and correct our basis as much as possible to us. So in summary, we are moving now towards the closer of this session. We started with the habits. Are we ready to change our habits? Now let's go back to the poll and think about it, what we had answered to all those poll questions. Now you think about it. Is it easy enough to change our habits? No, it is not. But there are tools and technologies available to us. But to adopt anything, we need to be aware about it. We need to have the willingness to make changes in our habit. Meditation, especially Vihangam meditation, empowers us to achieve that. Vihangam meditation empowers us to achieve all those things in terms of habits. To make it happen, we can achieve that through Vihangam yoga meditation. Please join us for our regular meditation practice, which we are doing in the morning as well as in the evening, every day without any gap. Morning, weekdays, it is 6 a.m. in the morning, evening, 8 p.m. in the Evening, of course, 8 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday, like today is Sunday. We did in the morning practice 8 a.m. as well as Saturday 8 a.m. and evening is as always 8 p.m. all Singapore time. We do it on Zoom itself. The same link is being utilized, through which you have joined right now on the Zoom. We do it online right now only for 30 minutes. Anyone can join from anyone, from anywhere, and we do it in English. Although language is not a barrier for such kind of things, but still for the commonality, we have kept it for English only right now for the practice. Along with this, please visit our website www.vihangamsg.com to know more about us, to know more our activities, what we are doing on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, fortnightly basis, or even quarterly basis. You'll come to know more things from there. We have a YouTube channel, we have Twitter account, we have Facebook book and Meetup as well. Please visit all of these and encourage us to support us by changing your own habits, replace it. Like Chandra mentioned during his experience sharing, that he could have done lot many different things during this lockdown period. He could have engaged himself in watching movies, watching Netflix, watching TV, watching gossiping with his friends and all these kind of things here and there. But he took a different decision to make himself more and more firm, to meditate more for his own betterment. Can we do this way? Yes, we can. We need to believe it. We need to dedicate ourselves for that. And we are always there. Vihangam Yoga Singapore team is always there to help you wherever you require any kind of support to make changes in your habit. Please simply contact us through our social media or otherwise. This is all about today. Thank you very much for joining with us. I'm sure we would have got lots and lots of insight about our habits. And I'm sure some of us, I cannot say that every one of us probably, but many of us would have benefited knowing, becoming more and more aware about our habits, where you yourself have to function on it. There is no any shortcut available. There is no spoon feeding happening here and there. No, the effort has to come from the individual to make any change which we want to put in our daily life. Vihangam meditation really gives you a very, very different kind of energy, very, very different kind of support, which makes things happen automatically at your end because it changes the basis, it changes the root cause of all the problems. Thank you very much for joining with us today. Now we move towards the question and answer session. If anyone has any question, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask that question. We can stop our live session now, please. On Zoom, whoever is there, if you have any question, please feel free to unmute yourself. And once the question and answer session will happen thereafter, we will do quick Shanti part just for 2 lines, but not right now. Any question anyone has? Seems there is no question from any of the participants. So that would save some of our time and your time as well. Thank you very much for joining with us. We would have another such kind of session very soon. We have been doing on a regular basis quite a large number of activities daily as well as on a weekly basis. Please watch us on our Facebook page as well as on our website, and remain safe and healthy and take care of yourself. Have a nice time ahead. And please join our daily meditation practice session. We would connect in the evening, 8 p.m. today, Singapore time, for the practice. Thank you, and Jai Sadgurudev. Bye-bye to everyone.